Welcome to Monday, August 11th, 2025. Your Day Weather Podcast brought to you by the Advocates Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, don't face it alone. Get an experienced local Wyoming attorney on your side. Free consultations at wyomingadvocates.com or call 307-800-1952. You deserve an advocate. Well, the cold front, the unseasonably strong one that came in late last week, is going to suppress the moisture more to the south and east after 2 days in a row of a lot of thunderstorm activity, some of it heavy over the areas east of the divide, out across eastern Colorado, Kansas, down into New Mexico and the panhandles, up into southeastern Wyoming and across Nebraska. We're going to see a suppression of the moisture further south as winds aloft are still coming in from the northwest. So this will make areas in the north, the west dry. Thunderstorms will continue in the far southern areas. Now, temperatures will be moderating. Boy, I tell you, there was a September-like feel out there in many areas, depending on where you are, going back to last Friday with that cold front. But temperatures will work their way back up as we head into the middle to the end of the week and the weekend, as we have a pattern reset. So basically, we're resetting things later in the week and into the weekend that kind of gets us back to a typical August pattern. This strong trough and cold front that has come on through has kind of reset things last week. Now we're going to go back into a typical mid-August pattern as we evolve through the middle to the end of the week. Great shot there in the Bighorn Basin in August. Now you would think, well, northern Bighorn Basin in August, you should be pushing 100. But it was only 73 degrees Friday afternoon, and the hand reaching out to get the warmth from the sun since it was so cool. But don't worry, there's plenty of hot August days still to come. But that was a pretty impressive cold front for sure, and it did produce a lot of weather all across the southern plains, the central high plains, and areas along and east of the divide, especially as that moisture started to come back behind the cold front in the return flow. Great shot of what's called a circumhorizontal arc. I don't mean arm there. There's a typo there. A circumhorizontal arc, and you can see the iridescence from the sun into the clouds. Great shot there from Green River, Wyoming here. And there's another shot of some halo activity going around the sun in the high cirrus clouds that were coming in with that cold front late last week. And then quite a bit of really good opportunities to catch some different cloud formations this weekend, as moisture and upslope behind the front and what little daytime heating we got behind it was able to produce some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Now, several folks caught this cloud formation, this cloud type, over the weekend. Sunday morning, across portions of southeastern Wyoming and northern Colorado, we had a layer or two of these altocumulus clouds. And I'll tell you here in a moment, as we show you more photos, when you see this time of year, during the summer season, you see altocumulus clouds in the mornings. As you can see here, here's another view of that layer coming across the area. This is a mid-layer area of moisture, but these altocumulus clouds not only indicate there's moisture there, obviously, because of the clouds, but instability. Instability like this in the morning is a precursor to what's going to happen in the afternoon. This is where you can identify clouds and really make a pretty accurate forecast for 12 hours later or 8 to 12 hours later, because when you see these in this part of the country, this time of year, there's another shot of them, you're going to get thunderstorms. And a lot of times the thunderstorms will be forming in and near the area where you saw the clouds. So this was a hat tip, so to speak, that it was going to be a busy afternoon and evening along and east of I-25, which it was yesterday. And here's a shot from later, this was late last week, head of the cold front. You can see the layer, the altocumulus clouds, and we did certainly see across northeastern Wyoming some bigger thunderstorm activity as that front came on through. And then beautiful shot there, Saturday, from thunderstorms developing behind that cold front in the return flow Saturday, and those thunderstorms really got going yesterday. Enough to produce some pretty decent sized hail there in the Laramie Valley with the thunderstorms as they came through yesterday, and along the east slopes of the Bighorn Mountains as well. And we also saw overnight and in early morning thunderstorm activity continue out into the plains. It's something we talked about on Friday, that we could see overnight activity, and we certainly did. Horseshoe cloud there in Fountain, Colorado. Brief, but a nice little shot there. And then we always like to end on a happy note with a happy rainbow in Gary, Nebraska, as we saw those thunderstorms move through the panhandle yesterday. As we go and take a look at the satellite imagery, there's the thunderstorms that continue out into the plains this morning. With high pressure in the Great Basin, winds aloft are coming in like this still behind the cold front, and that's where we're going to see that frontal boundary heading from the Great Lakes all the way down to northern New Mexico here, and a very active and strong boundary for this time of year. It's going to cause quite a bit of shower and thunderstorm activity along it, but high pressure, a lot of high pressure and drier air is building in behind it. So you can see the dry air right here, but the horseshoe of moisture kind of going around that front, then down into the plains, and that's where the thunderstorms will be today. So more suppressed to the south. We'll have a little activity here in the northern plains, but the heavier thunderstorms will be in Oklahoma, Kansas, Texas, eastern New Mexico, and here's this little spike of thunderstorms into southern Arizona that will continue here into the early parts of the week. But along and behind the front, the activity will be somewhat minimal. Tomorrow, the same thing. You can see that there's more of a south and east push of the moisture. So there's going to be a lot of the northern plains, the central and northern Rockies, and the Pacific Northwest to California, where there just won't be a lot going on today and Tuesday. The thunderstorms will be down into the southern areas, Arizona, New Mexico, into Texas, down into Mexico tomorrow. This is why high pressure, big high pressure, along the eastern areas of the Pacific, causing that jet stream to dip with that trough of low pressure heading into the northern plains. So winds aloft still today coming in from the north-northwest. So temperatures will still be moderate for August. But there will be an eastward shift, a flattening out of this pattern, and that reset I talked about by Thursday. That reset is for the high in the eastern Pacific to migrate more to west of the Aleutians. This allows the high pressure to start to migrate back to the east again, then follow the wind barbs, and you can see the flow starts to come back out of Mexico into the southwestern United States again. And this will allow temperatures to start to go back up, get back into a more mid-August type temperature regime. And if we follow temperatures, starting from today through the next 7 days, we see the warm-up. Now, these are slightly above average temperatures over 7 days, but other than the far northeastern United States, the 30-year anomaly is not terribly strong. See the colder air in Canada. It's just going to be August. It's just going to be August in terms of temperatures and conditions as we start to warm up again. And if we evolve the moisture fields, starting as this reset takes place, on Thursday, the drier air patch starts to head out east. There'll still be some thunderstorms in this area, but the drier air is weakening. And you can see now that we've got a lot of white and green coming back into here. And we start to see a channel of moisture start to head back north-northwestward. And if we look at the precipitable water the next day, Thursday into Friday here, hey, we actually have some water to work with on the western slope and into the southwestern areas of the United States. So there could be a couple of days here of this arc coming in as the high shifts eastward, allowing that subtropical moisture back. So the door opens, so to speak. So as we get into Thursday, Friday, and as we get into Saturday, we can see the subtropical moisture return. So thunderstorms are going to increase again on both sides of the divide, hopefully for you folks on the western slope, as we get into the Thursday, Friday, Saturday time frame. Then on Sunday, that eastward shift takes the deeper moisture out into the plains. So basically, we're just cycling through another monsoon cycle late this week and into next weekend. And with that will be warmer temperatures and no strong cold fronts through that period. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good Monday.